Okay, here we go. I have 2 good long pieces of vine. Now you can use some of this bigger vine in your wreath if you want to. You just don't want to use too much. And the vine around here, if I were to give them just the smaller vine, I'd have all this big vine, and you can do stuff with it. You're going to have to make it your own, of course. But, okay, what I'm going to do is snip that. So I have that. And that just holds the vine when I turn it around. And see this long piece that has no vine coming out of it? That I use for a wrapper. And sometimes you need to find them. Other times you have a lot of them. It's on your vine. Okay, now, another thing I wanted to show you. Not everybody has a spinning table. Years ago, and be careful, I got vertigo because I did so many wreaths, and I kept walking around. So then, what I was making my wreath like this. So if you don't have a spinning table and you have to stay stationary, then you can make your wreaths like that. Now you're going to want to make them tight. Don't leave leaves in them. Nothing. They hate, and I've never sent them one, but I've heard them complain about it, that if you send, they've gotten wreaths that they put it on their table, and it's nothing but dirt. Well, that's what the leaves are going to turn into, is dirt. So, I'm going to kill you. How is DJ?
Love you.
I love you too. I'm going to whoop you. All right, now we're going to put another piece on. And your wreaths, your wreath should weigh about 2 pounds. A 14-inch wreath is what mine normally weigh. About 2 pounds. I'm going to need more than that. So let me go get the other piece, and that'll show you something too. Okay. Let me see when I'm in your, see this? All those leaves have to come off of there as we do it. But all you got to do is make sure that when you get those leaves off, and then it's not stuck to anything. And as dry as they are, they come right off. The only reason they're sticking a little bit is because of it rained just a little while ago. Now the vine's not dry, but the leaves are, and they will. And see, I could have cleaned this before we got on here, but you need to know how to do it, and you can wear gloves, and if you do it one strand at a time, it's easier. But you got to get enough of those leaves, and then as you're going around, you can get more of them out. But I try to get them all. It is some work. It is some work. Get off of them. But y'all, seriously, and I know that a lot of our demographics on here are older, but I know there's got to be some young ones out there wanting to basically live off grid, or I heard from a few of them younger than me that said, you know, I've got vine everywhere. And I'm going to tell you right now, there is a market for good wreaths, and it's just the base. See, a lot of the florists or the decorators, they spend a lot of money on what they put on those wreaths. And that's why they need a good base. They don't like the bases that you find in the big box stores. You just aggravating me. Okay, I think I got most of it. Now this one, I'm going to use my table. But you don't want to go in the same place that you went in to begin with. Okay? Always remember, cut that like that. Because if you have a point, it's going to go right in there. If it's flat, you're going to push that thing forever and it won't. But, you know, if you don't have a table like this, you're going to have to walk around it. Doing this over your head is fine, but not if you're using a thick piece like I'm doing right now. Okay. I'm hoping this piece is going to help get us up to. And I didn't bring the scale, but I do have my measuring tape, because you always measure. And you want to go tight, but make sure that it stays down. First timers have a problem with it going up. Now, it's not going to be super flat, but you don't want to keep going up on the nails. I'll tell you about how high that is in a minute. But you just keep going around, and you can twist it like this a little bit, because it helps get some of this extra stuff in there. See, my hands, I've done this for so many years, they hurt at night. They're not hurting right now. But it's time to pass it on to the young ones. So I'm hoping some young ones out there will sit up and take notice and realize that they can be outside and make some good money. And man, you can. Last year I did pretty good on Wreath. This year too. Okay. Let me see. Yep, you're going to go from outside to outside. Oh, and I might not have told you, the inside is 10 inches. So you're going to have an inside of 10, outside of 16. So for a 16-inch wreath, you're wanting 10. For a 12-inch, 8. I believe it's 8. And you add 6 inches. My brain's fried. For an 18-inch, it would be a 12 inside. What you're trying to do is make sure they don't want something skinny. Okay, they like it thick and they like it tight. Don't make it loose, and you know it's got to be tight. So, anyways, that's about 3.5 inches. But that, if you can do that, and I'll show you how to wrap it, I'll help you sell them. I will. See, this is one that I have already done for one of my customers. And really, you don't want to use too much gray. But if there is gray in it, it's okay as long as it's not all brittle and breaking. And I've done some wreaths with all gray. It just depends on how good that vine is. So it's okay if there's some gray in there. That's not a problem. And see, there's a little bit of big vine. And there might be a few little holes in here, but it's nothing like what's at the box stores. It's nice and thick. They want to be able to take that pick with glue and stick it in there, and it'll hold. All right, let me get the wrapper. Let me get a wrapper. Okay, let me get good. Now remember, the wrapper is the piece is pretty smooth, and so that's what I use. It's pretty smooth. And I can't remember how long. I always cut mine longer than I need it. Because that way, if it breaks, I can go on. Now, what is the best way for me to do for you to see this? I think over here. Yeah. Okay, so you're going to lift this up, put it under. And then you're going to take this and put it right in there somewhere. Kind of hide it if you can. I've been making them for 30 years and having problems now. That's too funny. Okay, so it's stuck in there. So then what you're going to do is, as you go with your hand, you're going to go in between every other nail. So you've got it here. Pull it just a little bit. And then you're going to take it and put it through. Now, yeah, I gotta show you that. Good, you can't see it. I'm gonna have to lift you up. That's too funny. Anyways, if you can see this right here, we'll clip that. I swear, don't hire me to do your movies. Oh, I didn't mean to say that. God, I'm gonna get in trouble on the evening live. And I'm trying so hard to be good. Alrighty. Anyway, that piece that we put on that nail, you're going to want to cut that, because if you don't, when you bring this around and it holds it too tight, it'll break your vine, or can. And then you pat it. Then you go ahead and do the same thing again. And see how pretty that turns out? And I think the only reason these people can't find good wreath makers is because people don't know how. And I thought, well, shoot. You know, like I said, I have customers all over the United States. There's a likelihood I've got a customer in your hometown. And if you can provide a wreath like this, I about guarantee you, I can't guarantee you because I ain't got that much money, but I about guarantee you that they'll buy it from you as long as your quality is there and stays there, because they want a good quality wreath. Now, when you get to that point, okay, now you've gone all the way around, you've got 4 of them. In fact, one time, I have to tell you this, I thought, oh, let me do extra, and I went around and had it through every hole of the nails. I thought I was doing a good job making it pretty. Well, I wasn't. The reason is they need the space in between sometimes to hang their signs and put their signs. So, all right, where am I at? Can you see now? Okay. Now we're at the end. Okay. I'm going to knock the camera over. Okay, so what I do at the end. Shoot, I'm just lucky I didn't knock y'all over. All right, so at the end, what I do then is take my last piece. You can either cut it off, or I like to go ahead and put it in. You're going to have, this will come up when you go through there, so make sure you put that back down. And it just helps tighten up your wreath too, if you do that. Okay, now you see I'm down to that part. Make sure you've got that point and push it into your wreath. And I guarantee that on my wreath, sometimes I can't find where I started or where I finished. Alright, where do I need to cut? Okay, see, this is a piece that's against the nail. If there's anything that you have against the nail because you put it in there and wanted it to hold it, now would be the time to cut it off. You can, for wreaths, take your nails and take this top off. Totally up to you. Demas did it for me one time, and he tried to smooth the top, but I kept hitting my arm on it. So I told him I'll just take it like that. Okay. Now look at that. Look at that. And that's not a bad wreath, and they love it. It's a 16-inch, and if you've got the vine, like I said, go ahead and make some.